Hello, this is Dr. Breeze Harper of the Sister Vegan Project, and I wanted to update you on my latest book, Recipes for Racial Tension Headaches, a critical race feminist journey through the post-racial ethical foodscape. And it's a very long title. I like long titles because I want to make sure that people know exactly what I'm writing about. But of course, it'll be shortened once a publisher decides on probably a better, more palatable title. So I wanted to share with you some of the work I've been doing on the book. So back in 2014, I was on Facebook, like I always am. That's the site that I use for a lot of my research. And Bryant Terry, he is the author of Afro Vegan and Inspired Vegan, and he's one of the few African-American identified vegan men who are they're vegan chefs, they're vegan cookbook authors, and they're food justice activists. And something had happened where he, along with myself, we and many other vegans of colors experienced a collectivity of white vegans not being empathetic or sympathetic to what was happening in Ferguson, and in particular the murder of Mike Brown through the police. And I remember Bryant posting on his Facebook status, which was public, if this is not verbatim, but the context is that, if you're having an uproar about, Mike Brown, a child stealing a cigar and deserving to be murdered, but you're hooting and hollering about the rights of non-human animals, then you need to defriend me. And at the time, there were a significant number of white identified vegans that were posting comments and threads that clearly showed that they did not understand the socio-historical context of racialized profiling, the criminal justice system. It was such a white, middle to upper class privileged perspective of what had happened. These comments conveyed that. And in particular, going back to what Brian had written, this focus on the cigar that was supposedly stolen. So my chapter looks at objects and food objects and what these objects can tell us about the society's economics, politics, power, privilege. What do those objects tell us about that? So something about the cigar. Why the cigar? And I thought about the cigar as this unethical object, particularly in the holistic, vegan, ethical food and animal rights world, especially the white world. So this object that was focused on, it has not a very close proximity to what I would call civilized whiteness. And I ask in the chapter, what would happen if he had supposedly stolen kale or tofu, which are objects that have closer proximity to whiteness, to civilized whiteness? What would the conversation look like? And it seems mundane, but it's very it's very important to actually understand how people create racialized narratives around certain, what they call ethical food objects. So I'm going to explore that in my new book. So if you like what you hear, if you've enjoyed my work, I ask that you consider becoming a Patreon, supporter, and click on the link at either the end of this video, or if this is on my blog, at the end of the blog, so you can help and contribute what you can to see this book be published hopefully in mid-2018. So I'm really excited about it. And the book isn't just, critical narratives around food, ethics, and race, but at the end of each chapter, there'll be recipes on how to kind of nutritionally support yourself through racial battle fatigue and similar. So, after reading the chapter maybe about Mike Brown, then maybe I'll suggest a stress-relieving recipe involving nettles and barley and lentils, a soup that we can put together. So it's going to be really great, and then it'll be kind of divided up where the first few light chapters will be, and it'll be, the first part will be like something like appetizers, and then the main courses will be heavier, more deeply critical, longer essays, and at the end will also be more complex recipes to handle that. And at the end will be desserts. So desserts will be sweet or stories and narratives about resistance and hope. So let me know what you think. And also, if you're interested in having me come and talk at your institution or organization or university, send me an email and we'll see what can happen. I've spoken about 5 times this year already. Wesleyan University, Fresno State so far. I'll be speaking at UChicago, Penn State, and probably Smith College by May 2017. So let me know if you'd like me to talk about my new book or other scholarship I've done in the past. Thank you, and I hope you're having a beautiful spring day. It's absolutely gorgeous here in Berkeley, California.